Okay. So the first step I want to show every one of you is how do we prepare the questions and the answers for import into the platform, right? So I have just downloaded General Paper 2018, MPSC General Paper 2018. So this is the Word file. This is what has already been typed. So what I did on the right-hand side, I opened something called Atom. It's just a text editor, plain text editor. So you can open Notepad if you have Windows, or you can open Notepad++. Anything that's a text editor that doesn't have the fancy editing features, right? And what I'm going to do in this text editor is, the first thing is I'm going to copy all of this content from Microsoft Word, and I'm going to paste it in this text editor. What this is going to do for me is it's going to remove all the bad characters that are in Word that are not good for import in the system, and it's going to prepare this thing for me for import in the system. So I've just did that copy. That's the first one, and I'm going to save that now. The second step is I need to then open this big so I can start editing this for the bulk import. And part of the editing process includes a couple of steps, right? So like here, for example, we have answer all questions. What did I just do? Right. Just undo something. What just happened on my computer? Okay, anyway, let me close this and reopen that. It look like something.
So the text editor, if you get we can also see some example them where we get a dot and the answer them.
That's where I'm going now. Okay, so okay. I have it reopen again, right? So in this case, we said answer all the questions. Each question is followed by 5 options, A to E. Find the correct option for each question. Give only one answer to each question, right? So this is all instructions, right? And this is instruction for section 1, right? So I'm just gonna leave that up there for now. And now I just put a line, so I press enter and put a line, right? Next, the question here is science. This is on science, right? Which of the following substance is not an element? Then you have the question, you have the options, then you have the answer. So I have to put a line here and then put a line here. And then the next question here is mixture of salt and water is called, this is not supposed to be A, this is just supposed to say mixture of salt and water is called, again, A, B, C, D. So I put a space and put a line again. Now, the closest planet to the sun is another space, another line, another line. Rice and hogs can be separated by another line, another line. Female part of the flower is another line, another line. Transparent object, okay? Another line, another line. You're following where I'm going, right? And then this this says a magnifier can be used to what? Another line, another line. Which of the following arrangements of batteries can produce light? Another line, another line. A green pigment in leaves of plant is known as another line, another line. So most important, you see the letters A with a space. So check all this and make sure that's all correct, right? And then a planet. So I'm separating the answers from the questions by putting a line. So everything I just did was all section 1, right? So in this case, I'm just going to do section 1 for this example. So as a matter of fact, I'm going to actually remove all of these other ones, and I'm going to resave this file. And I'm just going to name this as MPSE, and I'm going to say section 1, because I don't want to do the whole thing. I'll say section 1, and then I save it, right? So that's saved. Now, the next piece of this is, remember this instruction up here that says answer all questions. This is the instruction. I don't actually need this in the system. Now, each question is followed by these options and that find the correct one. I don't need the section 1 either. In the system, we don't care about the sections, right? Because these questions can be filtered in different ways, right? And science, actually, let's put the section here because it says something. It says section 1, science, right? Now, this is the instruction. I'm going to copy this instruction and I'm going to put here section 1, science, and then I'm going to put the instruction here like that, right? And the main question is, which of the following substances is not an element? I'm going to bring that question again. So the question should always be one line. It should not be two lines, right? So every question, I'm basically going to add this instruction to every question because each question is going to appear independently by itself in the system, right? So now I'm going to click here, and then I think this was a mixture. And I'm going to put the same instruction again, paste the same instruction, paste the same instruction, paste it again, paste it again, paste, 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 and then paste, and save. So I've now set, this is now set. One of the things that you're going to take note of is there is a question, it's one line. The objectives, each one in a line, you have the letter. All the letters are supposed to be uppercase characters, capital letters. You have the letter with a dot, and then you have the answer. And then the answer, again, this word answer should all be capital letters or uppercase, and then the final answer A. So now I am ready. This file is prepared and it's ready to be imported in the system, right? So I'm going to do the import. To do the import, I'm going to log into the system. So the first thing is, each one of you that's going to do this, when you are assigned a subject, you're going to log in. So I'll click login, and I'm going to log in with my account in the system. So I am logged in now into the system. So now let's assume that I am not currently assigned to any subject, so I'm just going to find my subject. So we are talking about MPSC General Paper, right? 2018. So I am going to find that, and to find that, I'll click on courses. And from courses, I'll click on simulation exam, exam simulation, that's the main category. From there, I'll click on MPSC. And from MPSC, I need to click general paper. This is general paper, so I'll click general paper. And now that I'm in general paper, a couple of things have already been done for me. You're gonna find out most of this is already done. So in the general paper, you have 2019 general paper objective test 2018. So we are interested in 2018. So we're going to edit the 2018. So the first thing you have to do is you have to look for the gear on the top right, right here, and you click the option that says turn editing. Okay, so I'm going to click turn editing on. Now I am able to edit this course. So I have turned editing on. And once the editing is turned on, you will notice that you will see the pencil and you will see these are drag buttons that can allow you to drag up and down, and you can see edit. So I want to work on 2018 general paper objective. And that's the section name. And then this is the quiz. If you see this checkbox, this is the quiz. So I need to open this quiz or this exam. So I'm going to click on that and I'm going to open it. The first thing you will notice is when you open it the first time, it's going to say there are no questions. And that's fine because we have no questions. So the first thing I have to do is I have to create questions in the bank. So the questions that I just worked on, I need to import them into the bank. To do that, I'm going to click on this gear right here, and I will scroll down and I'll click on question bank. See here, question bank? I'll click on that. And when I click on question bank, I need to look here for a couple of things. First thing, I have to select category. When I look, there are a couple of categories here already. This is already created for us. I have created this in advance. So you have questions for 2019, questions for 2018. When I click 2018, there are no questions yet. So the questions I just worked on are 2018 questions. So I'm going to try to import those. To do that, I'm going to click import. And I have to choose the format, Akin format, right? So I choose Akin format, and then I'm going to click here, choose a file. And then I click choose file. And I go to my desktop, and I click on that text file that I just edited. And then I click upload. Now the file has been uploaded, and I'm going to click import. And let's pray that we got the format correct. Luckily, we did it the right way. And you can see passing questions from import file, importing 11 questions from the file. So we have 11 questions imported correctly. All of the questions in the file have been imported correctly. And this import includes the answers, right? So I'll just click continue. And I'm done with the step of import. Now the questions are in the bank. So I can see all 11 questions in the bank. The next step is I need to put these questions in the category for 2018. But it seems like they are already in the 2018 category because I had selected 2018 category up here before import, right? So if I hadn't done that, I will have to click here to check all the questions, and then I will click 2018 here, then I will click move to 2018. And all these questions will have been moved to 2018. Now let's test the questions and see if the answers are correct, right? So to test that, this is how we will do it. So we are going to open our notepad like this. And then we're going to take the first one and say preview. So I'll click preview. And in the preview, you can see the question and the answers. Section 1, science. Each question is followed by 5 options, A to E. Find the correct option for each question. Give only one answer. Which of the following substances is not an element, right? So if you look up here, this is the question. This was our question 1. Aluminium, ammonia, chlorine, oxygen, and sodium. So the correct answer according to this is A, which is supposed to be aluminium. So I can choose A as the answer just to see, right? And if I click A, I can click submit and see if A is the correct one. Yes, when I submitted, according to the system, the correct answer is aluminium. So that means I have just proven that at least one of my questions was imported correctly with the answer itself. I can go back and take another question. I'm going to take another one in the middle, and I'm going to say preview. And this one says, each question again is followed by blah, blah. So transparent object. So I'm going to search for the question transparent object in my text file. And that's the question right here. And here are the different answers. The answer should be D. D is can make light rays go off. So let's look what the answer is. What is it? Can make light rays go off. So the answer here is A. You have to pay close attention to this, right? Because in your questions that you imported, the answer was D. That's fine in your import. But once the questions are in the system will shuffle these questions, right? The answer will still remain correct, but the system will not tell you the answer is A or B, because this answer that is D on paper here, when it comes in the system, it could be any of these letters at any point in time. And if I am taking the test and you are taking the test, the answer for you might be C, the answer for someone else might be D. So this means the student cannot memorize the answer A, B, C, D, E. They have to know the real answer, not the ABC, right? And in this case, the real answer is can make light rays go off. It has nothing to do with A, nothing to do with B or D. It's just the answer. So I'm going to select this and I'm going to submit. And when I submit, guess what? The answer is still correct because we did this import correct. In our import and in the system doesn't care about D, it doesn't care about AB. All it cares about is the correct answer is the word can make light rays go off. So I have 2 answers, that's correct. Now I'm going to check the last one and I'm going to say preview. And in this preview, the question here is, I'm going to, which of the following object is the main source of energy? So I'm going to take this again. I'm going to check here for that question. And that question is the last one, right? And the answer is supposed to be C. C is sky, right? So luckily here, C is still sky. So I'm going to click sky, and then I'm going to click submit. And the answer is correct. It's sky. So I have checked the first question, it's correct. I checked question in the middle is correct. I checked the last question, it's correct. So this tells me my input here is pretty good, right? So I don't need to check the answers. The answers are correct, my input is good. But now I need to do another type of editing. When you look at this question with all this, it doesn't look like it's formatted properly. So we want to format this a little bit, right? So one of the things I will do usually is I will format the questions so that they will look good. So to do that, I will click and I'll click edit. I click this and I click edit. I click this, I click edit. I'm going to edit each question individually to make it look good on the screen. And this will be the secondary part of the work. So let me open this first one that I'm editing right here. So here is the question, right? This is the screen to edit the question in the system. So here I have section 1, science, okay? So I'm going to keep that section 1 science like that, and I'm going to press enter. Each question is followed by A to E. I'm going to bold that. Find the correct answer for each one. Give only one answer, that's fine. That's all the instruction. Then I'm going to press and I'm going to bold this. And this is the main question that they are asking. I'm going to also bold this question, right? Since this is repeating on every question that I have right now, I'm just going to select this to shortcut. If I wanted to check my answer, I can come down here and check. You see, there is no A, B, and C in the answer. Aluminium is 100% means that's the correct answer. Ammonia is none, it's the wrong one. Chlorine is none, it's the wrong one. Oxygen is none, it's the wrong one. Sodium is wrong, it's the non one. So this is how the system knows which one is correct and which one is wrong. And the system doesn't put any numbers, any letters. It just says choice 1, choice 2, choice 3, right? And if you wanted to change the way the answers go, you can say, I want ABC like this in capital letter like that, or I want the other one. So we want to always use the capital letter ABC. And for this, I'm just going to click save. But before I even click save, if we wanted to, we can provide feedback for each one of these questions. Say, for example, if a student select the question, the answer aluminium, what should we show them as the feedback later on? We can type that feedback in this area, right? And that feedback could be more instructions explaining the answer, why aluminium is the correct answer and why ammonia is the wrong answer. So we can put the feedback for each choice. Yes. We also provide automatic feedback for the entire question up here in the general feedback section. This is where we can say, okay, for this question came from the topic blah, blah in your 2018 or 2019 syllabus, and these answers, this is the correct answer because of this and that. These are the wrong ones because of this and that. So we can either combine all the feedback and put it in here at once, or we can put the feedback individually in each question. Right now, the method we are using is putting the feedback here individual, putting the feedback up here, right? This is because we want to do it in the form of a test. If we wanted to do this in the form of a mock, wherein we want to teach the student to see all the details of their choices, then we'll put the feedback in here one by one. But we will duplicate the test, and another version of it will put the feedback here. Our current version, the feedback is going to go up here. So with all that, I can then click save for that question. And once I save that, I can see that that's the green one I just saved. It's showing here. So I'm going to go test to see how that's going to look like on my screen. Right? So I'm going to click the edit again, and I'm going to click preview. And here is how it appears now. This compared to the previous one, which one would you like if your children were the one taking this exam?
This one.
This one is okay.
This one looks better, right? Because it clearly distinguishes the instructions from the question, right? So we will be doing that by editing all of them. So in this case, I'm just going to take this and I'll paste my edit because I had already copied it to make my life easy.
But there's a mistake there.
Yeah,
See what?
I just saw it.
Yeah. Now, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Okay. For the sections, I mean, like for example, when you have section 1 and the notes, each question is followed by options A to E. Can't that one suffice for all 11 questions in the section?
Yes, but unless you want to show all 11 questions on the same page. That will be good if you are taking the exam on the computer only. If you are taking this exam on a mobile phone or on a tablet, it is not user-friendly because you will have to scroll many times.
You mean for the instructions?
Yes, yes, because it will take a lot of pages. The page will be long. You know, when you are on a mobile device and you have a lot of questions on the same page, you will have a long page that will scroll up and down.
I see.
So that's good for some people, but for some other people, it's not that good. So we're going to play with this. Let me put it that way. And at some point, we're probably going to make a choice to say, okay, maybe the next version of this platform, we're going to have to change our method and say, let's do it the way you just said. And that's all going to be based on the feedback that we get from students after we actually put this live and they start using it. Because we're going to ask them some questions. How did you feel about taking the test? Did you like the fact that we had the questions come in the way they came, right? One at a time with the instructions. And we may even put 1 or 2 of the tests using the method that you said. And then we will ask student question, do you like this method better than the other method? And based on these answers, at some point, we can decide which way is the better way.
Okay.
But we have all those options. So now I have actually edited pretty much all, with the exception of, I think, these ones at the bottom. I'm going to open them so that I can complete this exercise. So everything is in the bank. I'm editing everything from the bank, from the question bank right now.
Well, okay, I have another question.
Yes, yes.
Now, all of these things that you're doing one by one, if you had gone back to the original text, you could have fixed it there also, right? And then it would just do all of this as opposed to individual edits.
Yes, but here is the problem. In this original question, but in this original thing, you have to put the question in one line.
Okay.
And not break it down into multiple lines.
I see, yes.
In the text file, you cannot do bold. So you can do all of that in Microsoft Word, but if you bring it into text, it's to mess everything up and the import will have a problem.
Even the spacing between the questions and the answers has to be done in here, not in Word.
Yes, the spacing has to be done here because the spacing in Word also could be fake.
I see.
Yeah, Word can fool you to feel like there is a space, but it's really not a space because Word is not the best thing for machine readable text. So a text file is machine readable. That's why we have to clean it up. And most important, that text file has to be Unicode.
Yeah.
So it can take any language. Even if it was Arabic, you can put it in that text file, it will work. Even if it was, it will work. But if you do it in Word, it will mess it up.
I see.
Right? So I'm editing these questions now. As you can see, this is where it's a little time consuming. But we need to do this because we want it to come out clean. That's the difference we want to make as a platform. We don't just want to do this because, yes, you get the question, but we want you to really see it in a very clean and professional way so that it can actually help you as a student. So we're doing it assuming it's for our kids. So I'm saving that. Any questions while I'm doing this? The next step is now to add the questions to the actual quiz that we wanted to edit. This is all just preparing the questions in the bank. Mohammed, everyone on the call, do you understand this? Are you guys going to be able to do the formatting in the text file to prepare? Because that's going to be your first exercise. And I would want that to start actually tomorrow. Because now that we have everything typed, we need to input everything in the system.
Okay.
And to input everything in the system, we need to do this. We need to first convert it into text and then import into the system and then get it right like this.
Okay.
Any questions from the others? Everybody get it right? Okay, this is a smart group.
Everyone is lost.
Nobody knows.
Well, at least you're recording it, so we can watch it again.
If you haven't
Yes, that's the most important thing, because I'm really not getting it actually, but I will go over the recording so that
are they charged for this video? The recording a separate price. Okay, so now we have all the questions in the bank, and it seems like the questions are good. Let's add the questions now to the test, right? So I'm going to click.
I get question.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. But the question, I don't see like you put a question mark. I don't know if you just for left, so make you understand why I read and seen a question. But I don't see question mark. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
think that's deliberate because some of them don't get question mark, right? Because like this, for example, a plant with a swollen horizontal stem is called something.
And
right?
that is not a question.
That's a statement they are making now. So some get question mark, some get statement. In as much as a question we they ask them for answer, but that no means they will put question mark for all, because in some cases now the sentence and the complete.
Right.
That sentence might be a statement or it might be a question.
Right. How are they in the original exams?
This is how they are in the original exam, just as it was typed. That's the assumption. And we don't want to change that.
Okay.
Right? So now we have all the questions in. So the next step is we need to put them into our quiz. To put them in the quiz, I'm just going to go back and click on my... So I'm going to go back to the subject. This is the subject general paper. This is where I started. I'm back on general paper. Now 2018, here is the quiz. I'm going to just click on the quiz. Still, it tells me there are no questions because I have not added the questions yet. So to add the questions, now I'm going to click edit quiz because now I know I have some questions in the bank. And now that I've clicked edit quiz, I have the option here that says add. See add? So I'm going to click add. And then I'm going to say add from question bank. So I'm going to click that option. And from here, I am going to choose the category 2018. Make sure all your questions are in the right category. Because if you don't do this, you will never know which questions to include in the quiz. You will mix them up. Right? So I'm putting all my questions in 2018 for this 2018 quiz. So this way it's easy for me to know which questions belong to 2018. So I'm going to click 2018 and here are all the questions. And I'll check this checkbox. I will check all of them and then I'll click add. All my questions have been added and each question is a page by itself. And I'm basically done. So right here, how much point is each question? In this case, each question is 1 point, right? So later on, if there are 40 questions, then you will change this to the maximum is 40. If there are 50 questions, you will change this, the maximum is 50. And if there are 50 questions and each question is 2 points, then you will change this, the maximum is 100. And then instead of 1 point, you change this to 2. So that's going to be determined by the type of questions that you're going to work on. So there are 11 questions here because I know there are 11 questions. So I'm going to say 11 and I'm going to say save. So the maximum point right now is 11. So now that I've saved this, I can now go back and try to test my exam. So I'll just go back to it. And then I'm going to say attempt the quiz. And now I'm going to take the entire quiz. So now that all the questions have been entered, you can see question 1 on the right all the way to 11. And you can see now, I'm going to check if my formatting is working correctly, right? And I'm going to have my correct answers on the side, just to cheat maybe. And then I'm going to say, which of the following substance is an element? Remember, aluminium was A when we were testing, right? Now it's D. Right? And I go next. Water is called what? A mixture of salt and water is called what? The scientist. We're going to take the test together. Somebody answer that. No cheating.
Solution.
Solution. Oh, solid. Okay. I'm going to take solution. That's question 2. You own that, Mr. Masale.
I own it. I own it.
The closest planet to the sun is what? Who wants
Marge.
Marge.
Yes, sir.
Yes, answer this. You own this.
Jupiter.
Just pick one.
Just guess, but if you get it wrong, it's a problem. You need to fail.
Oh, no, not Jupiter. I said Jupiter.
Jupiter. Okay, let's go next. Right and object is separated by what? Abibatum. Pick one. Nothing?
I pick for E.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, I got which one?
Yes, sir. B.
B, flotation.
No.
Yes, sir.
E.
Flotation.
Okay, you own that. That's fine.
Mr. Masali, you know the glue.
Still part of a flower is the what? Alpha, Joseph.
Yes, sir. I think it's chlorophyll.
Chlorophyll is not. It's not one of the answers here.
Ovary. I can see it clear. I can see it clearly, sir.
Okay, the answer
You have A,
is
stop.
what? So you have sepal, petal, ovary, stalk, and anther.
I think it's ovary.
Good choice.
Okay. And the next one is transparent object. Mohammed Samba. What's the answer for this question? Transparent object.
B is the answer. B.
He said B.
That looks like everybody is owning it. Alhaji Bao. A magnifier can be used to what?
Magnifier can be used to.
Yeah.
A is the answer, sir. A.
Object looks bigger. Okay. So in the interest of time, I'm just going to move through the other ones. Thank you. Which of the following arrangement of batteries can produce light? Negative to negative, positive to neutral. This is positive to negative.
This is yours. You own it.
I own that. The green pigment in leaves of plant is known as
Chlorophyll.
chlorophyll. Okay.
Yeah.
Plant. Okay. So here is a problem. This one we did not get this correct because we did not bold the question, right? So we're going to look for this one later on. So I'm just going to select that. I'm going to look for that later on. So a plant with a swollen horizontal stem is called what?
Go
Tuba,
with E.
I think.
Tuba?
Tuba.
Yes.
Okay, go with tuba. And then which of the following object is the main source of energy? Sun.
Sun.
SUN, yeah.
And then I'm going to finish. And then I'm going to submit. And then submit. Let's see how we did. Holy crap, we did not do very well. We scored 3% out of, we scored
27%. Boy, this time PSC, how they feel so.
So the correct answer for the first one is aluminium. That's good. Solution was wrong. The correct one is solute. And then Jupiter was wrong. The correct one is mercury. And rice, the correct one is distillation. And then
the right answer is distillation.
Yes. You thought it was winnowing, right?
Yes, we the fanner. We the fanner. Then are winnowing.
So the rice and the ox is supposed to be winnowing. So this is now one we didn't get wrong.
Exactly.
So it's supposed to be winnowing, not distillation. So let's take note of that, right? This is part of the exercise of reviewing the test to see if the answers are correct. So here,
Right.
so definitely winnowing is the correct one. So this answer that was given is wrong, right? So we will change that later to winnowing. So let me take note of that somewhere. Edit that, and then this one, we need to change this. I'm just taking note of that. And then this other one, it's not oval, it's petal. The female part of a flower is the petal. Is that correct?
No.
Yeah.
No. How could the petal be the female part?
Yeah, oval. I don't think flower have ovary. Humans have ovary, I think.
Plants do
Is
too.
a petal. Is a petal.
It's the petal.
Yeah,
That one I have to Google. I have to Google.
that's petal. Now, transparent object can make light rays go off. So B was the wrong one.
Okay.
Man, that answer also, I'm not sure. Huh.
Hey, hold on. A magnifier can be used to make object look smaller, make object look bigger. So the correct answer says, look at stars. This is also wrong. Right?
Oh, man.
So this is wrong.
A telescope looks at stars, not a magnifying glass.
Not a magnifying glass. So that's wrong, right? Now, which of the following arrangement of batteries can produce light? Positive to negative. That's correct, right? The green pigment in leaves of plant is known as chlorophyll. Yes, that's correct.
Chlorophyll.
A plant with a swollen horizontal stem is called, it says, climber.
Yeah.
Please take note. This one also, the question has to be bold.
So yes, I just took note of that. So which of the following object is the main source of energy? Sun. It says sky.
It says sky. The answer says sky. I saw that earlier.
That's also wrong, right?
It's wrong.
So look at what I just did, right? So I just took note of those wrong ones, and we're going to review those together and correct them. Because otherwise, the students will know the correct answer, will take this and they will fail, right? So we know this already. So now the next step is I'm going to go back and edit those questions. So I'm going to go back to the quiz, and I'm going to go back here, and then I'm going to click Edit Quiz, and I'm going to edit that to find the correct answers, to choose the correct answer. So I'm going to select this and try to search, but it seems like I'm not going to be able to find it easily like that. So not the preview. I'm just going to try to open, let's see. The last one, this was one of them. Okay, so this is one of them. Source of energy. It's not Mars, it's not moon. Sky is none. Star, sun is 100%. That's the correct one. So save that. And I'm just going to choose this other one. The horizontal stamp, we just needed to bold this. And then save that. And then a magnifier. We have a magnifier question. I'm just going to open each one of them in a separate tab quickly. So you see, this is not the part you're going to rush on, right? You're going to take your time to do this. But somebody else is probably going to be checking these answers. If you do this and you find out the answer doesn't look right, you have to take note of this, and then we have to look at it as a group and determine if it's correct or if it's wrong. So the green pigment of a leaf is known as, I think this one was correct, right? We don't have any.
Why don't we go to the teachers, Samba?
That's the point. That's why we're going to have the teachers, right? The teachers are the ones that are going to do this validation for us. Right. Unless some of the teachers don't know the right answer either.
That's possible.
A magnifier can be used to what, right? A magnifier can be used not to look at the sky, but actually to make objects look bigger.
Look bigger, yeah.
Okay, and not to make objects look smaller. So that was wrong. So imagine if this was the marking scheme, and a teacher is using this marking scheme given to them from WAEC.
That's probably what they're using.
And they will be this is problematic if that's what they are using. Okay, rice and ox, this is definitely winnowing, not distillation. Distillation, I forgot make beer, or I'm going to make something else. Winnowing is the correct one. I think that was pretty much it. Yeah, that was pretty much all the corrections that we needed to make. Closest planet to the sun, Mercury. So we are basically done with this one. I did 11. I'm going to do the other ones later on to complete this. But this exercise that we just did is an example of what I'm going to expect you guys to start doing from tomorrow. And that is, again, step 1, open a notepad, something like this. Create a new file, save that file, and then open the Microsoft Word file. So I'm going to do section 2 one more time, but I'm going to pause if you have any questions before I do section 2. Any questions?
I have a question, or maybe a comment. Based upon, let me see. So we have 5 other people here. I think the workload is going to be more than what we have now to be able to do all of this within 5 days, I think.
Okay.
So we may need to find 1 or 2 people, maybe 3, that can easily, understand what we're doing here. We already have some of the guys, some people that are IT oriented on our MOOC team. So I think for the workload, we will need to find more people that may have to sit through this in the near future here. But this is a lot of work.
Definitely a lot of work. That's why I don't believe everybody has to do this. What everybody needs to do is this formatting. I think everybody can do is formatting part. It's echoing. It looks like somebody's phone is. Okay. Good. So I'm going to format the last set of questions just so you can see one more time. So this is the heavy part, or the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm doing the formatting again for this so I can import these other questions. And then section 3, home economics. Just going to leave it like that. And then do this. So like general paper doesn't look too complicated. I can see us finishing that very quickly, except for the review. But it's not as complicated as the math or the other ones. So just remember, it's the line, you have to put a line for each one. And then do that. And then do that. And then do that. And this is the final section.
I saw the man they go fast there. This guy is going fast. It'll take me a little longer to do this.
Okay, so you get this going. So just see how long it's going to take me to do one subject. I will expect that some of you may not be that fast, but at least you will have an idea, right, of how long it will take if you have your internet connection and everything. So this is section 1, section 2 definitely. So we're going to do the same thing that we did again. And I'm going to put a dot here, and I'm going to cut this out, and I'm going to put that like that. This way, each question is independent. So you see, I'm doing a lot of shortcuts, right? Copy and paste. Make sure you follow these combinations. So it's control and C to copy and control and V to paste. So I copy it one time like this, once I have it set up. And all I'm doing now is click, Control V, click, Control V, click, Control V. Okay, see, almost there. This is all just the formatting. And this is the next one, and I'm going to bring this one line up. Same thing again, just copy that, paste, and then paste, and then paste, and then paste. And then this is the final section, I believe. Paste that. I've been noticing as well MPSC interesting, right? I don't remember what Mion may look like anymore. So wherever you see this dash, like that, use this thing. Put a square bracket and then type blank and then another square bracket, right? Instead of using that, do that. That's the blank. Let's use that. That's what we are using in the system as blank. And then select that, paste that, that.
What is the blank for again?
The blank is just for filling the blank type of question.
Okay.
Okay. So I've just done this. I've saved it for everything now. Everything looks set. And now I'm going to try to import this again. So I'm going to go again to my quiz. And I'm going to go here and I'll click question bank. From the question bank, I will select the category question 2018 question because I'm working on 2018 paper. And then I'll click on import. And from here, I choose the arcane format. And from there, I'm just going to drag and drop my file. Here is my file. This is the second file. I'm just going to drag and drop it. And I'll click import. And let's hope that everything is fine. Whoops, everything is fine. 40 questions, right? So we did 11 before, now we have 40. That seems like we have more questions than we're supposed to have. It's supposed to be 50 questions, right?
So is agriculture taking the whole lot of, I don't know.
What?
Okay.
So they are correct. You can see how they are distinguished in the system. So everything is in there. Continue. And that's it. Everything is in. I'm not going to go in yet to correct them. I'll correct them later on. But everything is imported. Now I'm going to go now and add them back to the quest. Add them to the quiz. So I'm going to click on the quiz. So this one that I'm clicking on is what we call the breadcrumb. So it tells you where you came from and where you are, and it allows you to follow the same path to go back, right? So I can click here and then say edit my quiz. And now I have all the questions here that I've added before, and I'm going to go here to add and say from bank. So I can add the same questions that I added before, but the system is not going to add the same question twice. It's only going to do it one time. So to make my life easy, I'm just going to check everything so that it will import everything, but it will only, in the previous ones that I imported will not import anymore because they are already in the quiz. So now you can see I have 51 questions. So my total mark now is 51, which is not correct. We're going to check that later on with the original paper to see why we have 51.
Because it's supposed to, because it's supposed to be 50.
Supposed to be 50. So I'll just check this to be 50 for now. Save. So now I have all my 50 questions in this quiz. If I go back and try to take this quiz now, and I try another attempt, I have all my 50 questions, my 51 questions are all coming up now because I have all of them in that quiz. Does this make sense? Right? So I can move from one question to the other and just check to make sure everything is fine. Later on, I have to go in and do the formatting like we did before, but at least I can move through all the questions like we did before. And another easy way to check the answer is just go all the way to the last one. Go to the last question and then click submit. Say finish the attempt. Even if you didn't answer anything, if you submit, it's going to finish and just give you a 0 grade for everything, but it will tell you the right answer. And you can now compare the right answers with whatever you have. So right now it's 1 question per page. You can click the option here that says show all answers on the same page. And now I have all 51 questions with their answer on the same page. So you can take this and compare it with your paper to see if you get the right one. If you are like me and I have a screen grab, I can just do this and say, capture the entire screen for me. It's going to take a picture of my entire screen. And I can just look at that later on and know which one is right or wrong. So now I have a picture of my screen. I can just save that. And I can open that now as a text file. Instead of looking in the system, this is just a text file. And I can zoom through that text file. This is for those who want to go manual. So any questions? This is the main thing I wanted to show you today. How to create the questions on the paper in the text file, and then how to import them. So the next step is we're going to assign you guys to the different subjects. Mohammed, Abibatu, Joseph, and everyone else that's on there. So Mohammed, we know you are the mathematics guy. So I'm going to assign you to math. And then Alpha, I know you've been doing a lot of the English. You'll be assigned to the English. And then Abibatu, we're going to assign you the
General paper.
General paper. And Mohammed, Samba, and Alhaji, do you have time to have to take any of these assignments?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. So, Marge, somebody they asked who say you become mathematician.
I know the one with the axe. Well, don't forget saying I will be the first fitter.
First thing I'm going to try to enroll some students. I'm going to enroll people as teachers in the course. So to enroll someone as a student or teacher in the course, you go to the course, you put editing on, and then you click participants from the left. And when you open participants, you have the option here that says enroll user. So I'll click enroll user. And then from here, I'm going to change to teacher. And then from teacher, I'm going to type here Mohammed. And Mohammed Ejalo will pop up. And then I will say enroll. So Mohammed Ejalo, officially you are a math teacher for MPSC math. So as a teacher of a course, you'll be able to add the quiz, edit the course, and do pretty much anything within the course. And Joseph, I'm going to add you. I'll click participants. So you will be responsible for English. And I'll do enroll. What did I do? Go back. Click enroll. And then teacher. I'll say Joseph. Yonder. Selected, enroll. And because we are reviewers, I'm going to add you, Mr. Masale. You have 2 accounts, okay? I'm going to add you with both accounts anyway.
Okay.
And then I'm going to add you as a manager of the course. And I think I need to add Aminat as a manager as well. Say Aminata, and then I'm going to add Amadou and Amadou manager. So you are manager for math, and then I'm going to add Aminata here as well. So we will be reviewing your work as you do it. So Joseph, you are assigned, Mohammed, you are assigned, Abibatu. So you don't have to wait for anyone again. You know already what to do. And our target is to have all this MPSC in the system by July 1. Are we going to be able to do that? If it requires us working day and night, if we have the light, we probably have to do that. So Abibatu, you are assigned general paper. And I have the other subjects, Mohammed Samba, will you be able to take anyone? Samba, will you be able to take anyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you want to take verbal aptitude. Okay, so you want to take verbal aptitude.
Yeah, Mr. Lamin.
Yes.
Again, I think Yusuf, who actually typed the verbal, I think he's actually present.
Okay,
though he's late. He may look at it. I think you can assign to both of them.
So I will put Yusuf. Yusuf have access to internet and have access to electricity all the time.
Yes,
he's
actually almost everything.
He's the richest man from an electricity and computer standpoint. He's the richest man on the project. He has a whole center in Jerehu with 24/7 solar powered. So if some of you want to move to Jerehu, you can move.
So Yusuf doesn't go to sleep?
Yusuf doesn't go to sleep. Well, he does, but He has a lot of electricity.
Now we have one girl on one of the volunteers that already has some experience with this platform from University of McKinney. I think I mentioned her to you somehow.
Yes, I think she's on the mat, on the review for mat.
Okay. Well, the reason why I brought her up, I don't know what are the protocols to have people non-TPI sent people in the system, but we may need those kinds of people, especially if we're running against time.
Yeah, if she has time, I don't think we have any problem. This is not secret, right? I wish every school can copy this and do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And copy it and do it, we are winning. So there is no special proprietary anything in here. We want this to reach to everyone. And if that means you are going to come in not only to help, but also to spy and go copy it, so be it. I have no worries about that. So anybody that's open and ready to help, if they know how to use the system, they can follow the training. I think we are open to it. So we have one more subject that's not assigned. So Yusuf, you have been assigned to verbal. So I think the only one left is quantitative, right?
Yes.
And that's one of the difficult ones, right, Mohammed?
Even maths, yes. I wanted to ask a question. Yeah. So what I want to know actually is, are these text editors going to accept these shapes or graphs or diagrams?
That's a good question. No, right? So math is tricky. I have to work with you a little bit to show you how. You know what? I will do one example with math in a few minutes to show you how I've been doing this. It's a little tricky, but I think you're going to need that. And, manager. And I'm going to assign you, Mohammed, to this one as well. Mohammed Samba, will you make an attempt to help Mohammed with the quantitative?
Yes.
But I don't see you in the system. Do you have an account?
Yes, sir. I do have my TPI sent account. It's just my password.
No, you don't have an account in the system here.
Just use your email address.
You don't know what? I see Baisaidu is in here. I'm going to assign Baisaidu here as well.
Okay. Okay.
And let me see who else is in here. Baisaidu, Yusuf has been assigned something. Okay, so Baisaidu is here. I'm going to assign Lois as well and see if the three of them can work with you. The two of them can probably work with you, Mohammed, with your directions to work on this. So all MPSC has been assigned in the system. So now I'm going to give you another walkthrough example. I'm going to take math. So I think we've done 2018 math already. I'm just going to take 2017, MPSC 2017, and I'm going to take mathematics 2017. I don't see anything in here. Okay, I think you have it in the other place, Mohammed, right? Okay, mathematics, MPSC, and so 2017 right here. So I'm going to download this. And I'm going to open this Word file. So same process. And I'm going to open my text editor on the side. This time I'm going to create a new file and I'm going to call this, say save. Always when you create the file, save it, MPSC Math 2017. .txt, and then I'm going to save. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do again is I'm going to actually do this one by one, right, Mohammed? And here is the reason why. So I'm going to just take this. See that? Question 1, I paste. Question 2, I paste. Question 3, I paste. Question 4, I paste. And question 5, I paste. So I'm just going to do 5 questions. See that, Mohammed? Hello? Right? So the first thing I need to type here, I'm going to do the answer because I'm looking at the answers. And for question 1, the answer is D. For this one, the answer is B, question 2. For question 3, the answer is D. For question 4, the answer is D. And for question 5, the answer is C. That's the first step. Now that I have that, then I'm going to break this down 1 per line because it wasn't already done like that, right? So 1 per line. I hope you are looking, Mohammed. One per line. And this first one's supposed to be A dot space and bring that back. 1, 1, 1. And then bring this back 1. So I'm going to leave that like that. And then this one. Okay. And then this, I'm going to do that. So put E last and put E. Okay, so now I have everything correct. And I think I know what you are looking for. You're looking for these fractions. For example, this complicated fraction, right? This is not even a complicated fraction. You're looking to see how these fractions will come in and even the solutions. So I just did 5. So with this 5, I'm fine. The next step I'm going to do, for you mathematics, you have to do this because you have the explanation already. So this explanation is straightforward. We don't need to do anything. This is complicated. So what I'll do, I'll take a screenshot of it. I'll take a picture of this explanation. So I will just take a screenshot of this solution 1, and I will take a screenshot of this other one 2, and then I will take a screenshot of this other one 3. But I just made a mistake actually, so I'm going to cancel all those screenshots. The first thing I have to do is before taking the screenshot, I have to remove the answer. This B, I don't have to include that because remember, the answer, the letter answer could be different every time. So in my solution, I don't need the lettered answer either. You get that, Mohammed?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I have to remove this lettered answer. I don't need that in the answer, okay? So I'll start now from the bottom, and I'm just going to select, this is my solution. And this one, I'm going to push it down so it doesn't interrupt. That's my solution. And then I'm going to copy this. It's my solution. And then I'm going to copy this. It's my solution. And this one, I'm just going to, just for the sake of it, I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, so now that I've copied all my solutions, the first thing I need to do is go back in here and I need to number my solutions. I need to save them appropriately. So this was my solution for, I'll say, MPSE 2017 Math Q1 solution, right? So that's my solution for question 1. And then if I click on this second one, this was my solution for question 2, right? So I'll save that as solution for question 2. And then this one is my solution for question 3. And then this one is my solution for question 4. And then this one is my solution for question 5. So I did 5 and I have the picture of the solutions for all. So everything is saved. This is saved. Now I'm going to go import those questions. So I'll go import those questions. So causes.
Yes, I think we have to go back to the editing, the backspace.
Where?
For the first, yes, right up the first question. If you look at
yes,
and the optional answers, the space they have to come back here.
Right
yeah. Up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Thank you. Perfect. Okay, so you have to look at those details. Thank you. So I go now for math. I'm going to look at mathematics. And then from mathematics, I need the 2017. So I'm going to click this. And instead of edit quiz, I'm going to go here and I'm going to say question bank because I want to import in my question bank. Choose 2017. You can see 2019, 2018 is already in. 2017. And then I'm going to say import. And I'm going to choose the Akin format. And my text file is right here. And then I'll click import. You can see it's 5 questions, very straightforward, it's imported, right? And I'm going to do the import, and I can see all my 5 questions. So I'm going to then test the first one, it's a preview, and look at how it came out. So express 1/8 in decimals. It doesn't really come out the way you expect it, the way it comes out in the how you call this, in Word, it comes out slightly different, right? If you want it to come out, okay. If you want this to come out like it will come out in a mathematical way, you can actually go in and edit this later on. But first, let's check the answers, right? So the answer for that would be express 1/8 in decimal. So 1/8 in decimal would be 0.12. Is that correct? 0.12, and then I'll click submit. And it says it's wrong. The answer is 0.125. So the answer is D. And what is our answer here? D? Yep, 0.125D. So that means we got that correct, right? So we have, it's formatted correctly with the answer. Let's do the last one, preview. And which one, write 162,122 in figures. 162,122 in figures would be this. submit, and it says that's wrong. 162,122 is the answer, which is this one, right? So I can tell this is correct. And you have to follow the same standard again if you have instructions and things like that. Now, most important, you have to take note of in your math. So let's say, for example, you have questions that have diagrams. Those diagrams, you will basically take pictures of them. So let's say, for example, in this case, let's look at a question here that have a diagram, right? So let's say, for example, not this, these are all good. Solution, let's say for this, right? This one will still work. It's just going to change the way it will display. And this is all fine. Solution, that's fine. This is fine. Let me see if we have any with angles. This is fine. This is fine. So remember, the solutions are always going to be pictures in this case. Let's see. I'm looking for a complex one. Okay, this is one complex one. So you see, figure 1 represents 2 sets. Set A, a circle, set B, a triangle. Use the information to answer the question, 33 to 35. Then look at the figure, and then you have the questions. So this one, you will have to take a picture of this whole thing. So first this one you can type, but this one you have to take a picture of this. And you will bring this picture in each question, right? And I'll show you an example of how I did one. But you will take a picture of this, you will import this later on as a question in, but this will be the real question that you will put in the text editor. You will not put this one yet. In the text editor, you will put this. After you do the import later, you will go edit. And in the edit, that's when you will include this portion of the question. Does that make sense, Mohammed? Okay. So now I'm going to add that question. So now I'm going to actually edit this one by one to add the solution and show you how the solution was, how you will add the solutions. So for this one, I will just open my editor, my thing here, and questions. I have my solutions here. So this was MPSC 2019. This is it, question 1. What was the answer? This is not that. This is not that.
Okay, it's a straight answer.
This is not that. This is the right one. So I will just take that picture and drop it in the feedback. See what happened, right?
Okay.
So I just drop it in the feedback. And if you want, you can actually bold this one so they know what they are dealing with. And then I save. And I go to the next one. This one was, you can also bold this. You can also bold this.
I think something wrong with your audio, Mentor Tambas.
My audio seems to be good. Is anyone else? My audio seems to be good. Is anyone else?
No,
okay, the volume is up.
Okay. So for this one, it will be adding, right? So I think this one was the correct one. So I will just take that solution and put it here because you add in 6.59, 42.0. So this is the right one. So I'll save that. And then I'll go to the next one. And this one again, subtract this from that. So bold, bold. And then 3. This is subtraction. This was question 2. I'll just move and put that in the feedback. See that, right? And then I'll save. And I'll go to the next one. Write 2017 in words. And this was 2017 questions. And I'll go here, and I think that was question what? Is that question 1? Question 5. So I'll put that again in the feedback. This is it. And I save. And then I do the last one. Write this in figures. And that was question 1, right? And this is it. And then save. So I've fixed all of them. And now that I've fixed all of them, I'm going to go back to my quiz, and I'm going to click edit the quiz. And then I'm going to click add and add from bank. And from here, I'm going to choose 2017. I have only 5 questions. Check them all and click add. Now I have all of them in, and I can save. And let me go, let's give it a test. So let's go here and let's say attempt. And you can see the questions are coming. And this one was, I don't even know what the answer was. I'm just going to pick one at random. And this one, I'm just going to pick the answer at random. And this one, 2017. Let's see. And this one, 62 something. Finish. Then finish the attempt. Finish the attempt. And here is now a solution. Here is the feedback. So you can see here is a question up here. We got this right, and the solution is, the answer is correct, but here is the solution here. The picture that we uploaded, it's right here. See how every one of them is coming out now, Mohammed?
Yes, sir.
So you can see the letter. You see why I removed the letter, right? If you go check the original, this might have been the answer B or C or D. So if you don't remove it, you're going to confuse the student.
Yeah, because it's going to show full, right?
Yeah. So this is why math and quantitative is complicated. Make sense now?
Yes. I'm going to try and see.
So wherever you have something that looks like this, just take a picture of it. And the picture could even be in the question. So if I go back, I'm going to go back to math, and I'm going to show you an example of one that I did. So I did 2019 already. Let me show you this so you can see. And I'm going to reattempt this. You're going to see those scenarios. So this is fine. There are some questions you're going to see those detailed instructions that I was talking about, and you will find out those instructions. So wherever you have blank, also just put blank like I did. You see here, wherever you have the line, the blank, put something like this, blank, and bold it. So next. So this is when I was experimenting with using the math symbols. So if I use the math symbols, this is how it will come out. It doesn't look very good, so that's why I'm not recommending it right now. If I use the real mathematical way, this is how it will come out. We'll experiment with this later on. But for now, let's just put it the right way. So I'm going to go through a few of them. I just want to see if I can see one question that have detailed instructions.
it could be the questions from 20 upwards, 30 upwards.
So let's see, 20. Let's jump to question 20. No. Let's jump to 27. 25. No luck.
Let's go 30. Okay, good.
This is a good example. So you see this have a table, right? So in this case, because it's a table, it's easy to put a table in the system, right? So that's no problem. If I look 50, I think 50 had something similar, or 59, 49, let me see. Yep, so here is a good one. See 49? So this, yeah, so you have to bring the picture in like this. In the question, so you will bring the picture the same way. You take a screenshot of the picture on your computer, save it, and then later when you edit the question, you drag and drop it inside. But keep all of that for last. Take the picture, save it with the right name, do everything in the text file, import everything, and then go and start editing. Don't mix them up. Or if you want to break it by section, you take one section, you do everything in Word, and you do everything in text, you import, you edit, you make sure that section is good, then you jump to another section. It's probably better that way. You do it by section. Okay? Any questions? I think this is good so far. So again, for this one, if I just click the last question right here and I say finish the attempt, if I finish this and I submit, you'll see that the solutions are all in. That's how I did them. I copied, I pasted everything. So if I say show all of them, here you go. So you can see all the solutions are in.
Oh, perfect.
Everything is in. So I did this for 2018 and 2019 already.
I was really wondering how we're gonna do this.
This is an example for you to look at.
So why don't you just do all of these? Because you do it so quickly. We'll save time.
No problem. Can we transfer the bill to you?
Huh?
Can we transfer the bill to you?
Which one? English. I have English already.
No, my bills. Can I transfer my bills to you?
But that's from the left pocket to the right pocket. Yes. Bill me. But this looks really good, though. It looks really, really good the way I see it in here.
I was really wondering.
Yeah, it takes a but once you do it right, it comes out really good. And I tell you, you're not going to see this anywhere else done like this right now.
No.
Definitely, you're right. Definitely.
This is going to go to Liberia. It's going to go to Nigeria, Ghana. All of these places, none of these guys can compete.
West Africa, yeah, man.
This is West Africa. And
this is perfect.
And you know, we can go beyond just WAS and Becker and NPSC. That's the most interesting thing, that we can go beyond just these exams.
Yeah.
Or these classes.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we're gonna stop here. I'm going to stop the recording so it's not too long. And thank you all very